I didn't want to believe this at first, but once I saw the receipts, I couldn't ignore it.
Would you mind doing an interview right now? Can I ask why?
But then, this surfaced. These aren't rumors. They are payment records, allegedly totaling millions of dollars. Allegedly.
All the signs are already propped up. They're just against the walls.
Awesome.
Oh,
I
thank
love
you.
what you do.
Thank you
For everything you do.
Thank you so much. Bless you. Thank you. Hey, Manolo, how you doing? My name is Nate. Nice to meet you. I'm good. How are you? Would you mind doing an interview right now? Can I ask why? You're the leader of the People's Forum. You got $20 million from Roy Neville Singham to protest. Can I ask why you don't want to speak with me right now? Do you deny that you got $20 million to protest? You don't deny that? How are you spending that $20 million to protest? I know you're paying David Chung $75K a year. Anyone else on the payroll? Oh, David, what's up, man? I didn't recognize you. Hey, you're back, buddy. How you doing? $20 million to paid protest. Won't deny it. Won't deny it. Because it's a fact.
Have you been seeing these hands-off Venezuela protests and wondering who's organizing them? How did they pop up so fast? And why are they defending a brutal dictator? Well, here's the answer. One of the main groups behind these protests is the same organization that helped fuel the pro-Palestine protests across campuses and cities over the last few years. It's called the People's Forum, a far-left activist group based in New York City. And it's funded almost entirely by one man, Neville Roy Singham, a multi-millionaire tech entrepreneur turned Marxist. Singham is married to Jody Evans, the founder of Code Pink, the group best known for storming congressional hearings, smearing fake blood on their hands, and harassing lawmakers in the halls of Congress. Now, let's zoom out. The People's Forum is essentially a headquarters for professional activists. They describe themselves as, quote, a movement incubator for working class and marginalized communities. In practice, from their sleek Midtown Manhattan building, they host classes like Anti-Fascist Theater of the Oppressed, collage making for liberation, and a 6-week course called A Summer School for Socialism. Last year, I began investigating the People's Forum after noticing something striking. They were central drivers of anti-Israel protests immediately after October 7th. One rally they co-hosted took place on October 8th, just one day after the massacre, before Israel had even finished counting its dead. The People's Forum is also behind protests against National Guard deployments in U.S. cities, anti-ICE, and now Venezuela. Back then, I followed the money, and public disclosure forms and financial records show that Singham and Evans funneled more than $20.4 million to the People's Forum between 2017 and 2022, accounting for nearly all of the group's funding. And they did this using a web of shell organizations and donor-advised funds. And Singham isn't just sympathetic to the Chinese Communist Party. Evidence suggests he's actively funded media outlets that praise Chinese leader Xi Jinping while ignoring or denying China's human rights abuses. So, when you see these protests pop up overnight, now you know they're not authentic or grassroots. They're funded, they're organized, and they're part of a much bigger ideological machine pushing socialism and an anti-American agenda.
That's crazy. Mate, that is crazy. These things keep popping up and popping up and popping up, and finally today, I just couldn't ignore it. And I thought, let's look, a bit closer, let's dig a bit deeper. So guys, I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just saying, follow the evidence.
Public agreement between you guys that you can literally pull up on your phone right now doesn't exist, is that what you're saying?
Doesn't exist.
It does exist, so why don't you just explain to me how the contract actually works?
Doesn't exist.
I mean, it's public information. You guys just re-signed a deal that increased your wages, gave you guys even more days off, gave you parental time off and stuff like that. It's literally, like, I can go right now.
Time off?
I can right now go apply for a job to be, I forget what you guys exactly call it, like
from
a field
volunteer organization.
Yeah, you guys aren't strictly a volunteer service.
We're all volunteers, man.
So why do you guys have a public agreement, a collective bargaining agreement with Communication Workers of America?
Why
is that?
Volunteers, bro.
Why is that the case?
Nobody's getting paid.
But tell me that. Why do you guys have a collective bargaining agreement? The PSL doesn't have that. Why doesn't Party for Socialism and Liberation doesn't have that? You guys are the only activist group on the left
You
that
guys,
has
what is you guys?
DSA. I mean, tell me a little bit more. You guys are definitely unionized. That's how people like yourself who are organizers possibly get paid. I'm not saying that you do get paid, but it's public available information. And maybe you can just clarify it a little bit more for me about what is this public, collective bargaining agreement between DSA and Communication Workers of America. What is that?
It's a volunteer organization, bro.
Okay. And how much money do you get from Communication Workers of America to DSA?
It's a volunteer organization.
So you're saying that you guys just have a collective bargaining agreement for no reason? Why don't you just volunteer your services
It is
to...
a volunteer organization. It's not paid.
You can say that, but you guys have a
paid.
collective bargaining agreement with a union.
Well, guys, these things are public information. Like I said, just follow the evidence. And one thing I'll tell you is this: truth doesn't need funding.